not muted. How do you like that? What is going on, guys? Hey, sorry about last night. If you guys haven't seen the first half of it, this is the second part of the show. I hate doing it. Had some things come up that happened pretty quick. So we had to do some things. Somebody's needed some help, and we got that taken care of. So good to go for tonight. But that still leaves 4 matches left to go on this edition of Thursday Thunder. Now, not putting up a goal. We already hit the goal for the episode. You guys did that yesterday. So like I'm saying, go back, watch. We had 1 world title match for the TWC world title. Great matches yesterday, and we are going to keep it going here today. Hashtag not muted. That's what I'm talking about. Finally, the Totes has come back to the side of sound. You know what I mean? But again, guys, these matches, it's almost like all the matches they always have something to do with playing into the storyline. The matches here tonight, we've only ever had one other show like this, is more of kind of a tribute, a send-off to the WCW side of things. The corporate syndicate members, Mimi and Phoenix, coming down to the ring. Now, we talk about the storyline side of things, and yeah, maybe the exact matches don't play into the storylines for the first time ever. However, something we still got to look at is, are the corporate syndicate, is the NWO, are these groups going to keep doing? Is this the point they were trying to make? Is this the goal they were trying to accomplish to usher in the new era, the TCW? We look at Rowdy and we look at Totes, obviously former members of the Four Horsemen, or are they still members? Did they do this to usher in this era, or do they really have a legitimate beef? That's what we got to figure out. What is going on, Ebola? Welcome to the stream, brother. Glad to see you doing well. Vipiro, first, absolutely first. Made it in there. Frost Freeman, Extreme Wrestling Entertainment. You guys are going to see him coming up next year. R2K, what is going on, brother? Welcome to the stream. Temple, welcome to the stream. And, of course, Logan, we got to see Logan's character debut, but we have not seen his official wrestling debut. Will we see it here in 2K24, or will that be something, the in-ring debut, will that be something that happens in 2K25? Now, you can get in and kind of see some of the stuff. I haven't got a bunch of stuff going on. I haven't got a bunch of the stuff fixed yet, but we do have a few things in there. And CT Jones, also a member of the corporate syndicate. Angela Starr, not a member. But again, this is one of these. This is the one show. This show and the one from yesterday. Same show. Had to be split in 2. But where we're seeing Bama versus Eagle Star, we're seeing kind of some dream matches that in the storyline side of things, maybe that doesn't line up. However, we're seeing it here as this kind of tribute send-off thing, kind of like we did back in episode 1 of season 2 where we had the Scott Hall tribute show. So just getting to see some neat matches here tonight. This is definitely one of those matches. And that's the interesting thing, too. Like, you look at Angela Starr and kind of what she does. We used to see a lot of her. Haven't seen a lot of her, really, to be fair, in Season 6. A lot of other storylines, and this is one of those things that happens here in the TCW. Sometimes, even though we've got amazing wrestlers, sometimes other storylines kind of start dwarfing some of the wrestlers. That is the main reason. Yeah, new people will come into the TWC, right? We call that our developmental league. But even the wrestlers that are getting lost in the shuffle, they will also head to TWC and try to get things rolling, try to maybe get their own storylines going. So we're really starting to get the right structure, the right type of things going on, and that is a huge tribute out to our community for doing the things. What is going on? Jacob Hernandez, welcome to the stream, brother. Big Jake, the MVP in the chat last night at WrestleMania, really doing some stuff over there in the SSU. So will be exciting to see if some of that starts paying off over there. And hopefully we'll get Streamlabs and Nightbot dialed in, because they're saying some funny things in the chat, you know what I mean? I enjoy it. And every day we're trying to work a little bit more. If you've got a command, an I name command, right? Like I totes. So if you put in, not I totes, but exclamation point totes, right? You'll see Streamlabs or Nightbot will pop up and say something funny. Or maybe I didn't even put totes in there. But it'll pop up and say something funny, you know what I mean? If you've got one of those things, one of those sayings, something that you're like, hey, it'd be fun if Nightbot says this. Get on the Discord, send it to me. Speaking of Discord, look, you can find all the stuff right there. There's all of our socials, but you can find that stuff on the Discord. But get in there, message me, tell me what you wanted to say. Because we are still, that is like a work in progress for stuff like that. So, but get in there. Tell me what you wanted to say, and we'll go and get some of that stuff added. Just more fun stuff for the chat, you know what I mean? A little more interactive. Look, Mimi trying to get out, but look at this. T. Jones saying, no, ma'am. And quick tags coming. Now, we haven't seen these two really do a lot of tag team work, but maybe that's one of those callings, you know what I mean? Maybe that's one of those things. One, where maybe Angela Starr, at least for the foreseeable future, maybe she finds a tag team partner, because right here, she is absolutely crushing it in tag teams. And the oldest tag team, we say one of the oldest for a lot, but the oldest tag team going all the way back, Season 1, Episode 1. Meet me in Phoenix. They were in there, the very first tag team in a match. They faced off in a match against Jane and T. Jones. But they are the oldest as far as still together tag team. So, and that's another thing you start looking at. Will we see maybe Jane and T. Jones? They were the very first TSW World Tag Team Champions. The other really neat thing about all the stuff that has been going on, the transition that we're going through right now, the really cool thing about all of that is this. When we were the TSW, it was one way. When we were the WWE, it was one way with the title histories, right? One way with TSW with the title histories. One way with the WWE with the title histories. One way with the WCW with the title histories. TCW, there's been this shift. It's been going on for quite some time. Again, like 2 years. Now we get to use our entirety, the entirety of our title histories, and I'm going to put a map. I've got a thing already in there about the TCW titles, but I'm going to put a map of kind of how it went. So the entirety of our moving forward counts. All 200 episodes counts. The people wrestling back and forth counts. That is what is going to allow us to have that Ring of Honor. And maybe we call it something else, but really Right now we're calling it the Ring of Honor. We are looking to get 2 or 3 people inducted into that first class and get them into the Ring of Honor. So when you move on from the TCW and you're gone for a little bit, there's a chance you could get inducted into the Ring of Honor. So very cool. Just more interactive stuff for us to do, you know what I mean? It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to see more than me than you want, because we do, my creation streams go every day and they go for a while. So, yeah, we are absolutely doing creation streams. I will be up around 4 or 5 in the morning. I won't be up at midnight, but I'll be up around 4 or 5 in the morning the day it comes out, which is next Friday, and we'll keep moving it along. So, be very interesting. And the other really cool thing is we go back to our roots. We used to have the Thursday Outbreak. We used to have the Monday Night Meltdown. That is what the name of these shows are again, except now we have our own. Nobody else has our logos for these. There is those things that are out there, but nobody has the logos for them. So, very cool. I did another internet search yesterday just to see. There's a lot of Triple Crown wrestling, so I don't think we're going to go with that at all. But I have not found one Triple Championship wrestling. And it makes sense. Again, TSW, right? Number 1. First thing we did. The WCW 2.0, and now Triple Championship Wrestling. That is, I think, what our calling is to get that done. So, very cool. Lots of big things, too, getting ready to happen in 2K25. Season 7, like, you can see a lot of the progression every season. Like, every season has been heading towards bigger and better things. And look at what Angela's doing in the ring, controlling stuff, but trying to get after Phoenix. Finally, Mimi getting that back, and now going back and forth. They finally get back in control. Hooks the leg. Now wrenching on that arm. But yeah, everything kind of leading up to this, and now we're taking that step. So there's going to be an interesting transition period time, but all the champions remain the same. All the people remain the same. Mimi and Phoenix getting the win here tonight. And again, a thing we've got to look at, what was the purpose behind, and there could still be purposes. Does the NWO, do they change their name into something different? The Horsemen, the corporation, how's that all going down? Do they remain intact, or do these guys start splintering off a little bit? Because look, all new things going on, all new directions could be gone in. You know what I mean? Brand new opportunities, brand new type promotion. Yeah, same history, same whatever. Yeah, all the wrestlers remain, but new management. Now the shows are going to look a lot alike. Like, it's, you know, this is my background of what we do. So are we going to see that? Are we going to see these guys kind of splitting off? Did they do what they set out to do, or did they not? Is there still a fight? You know what I mean? Look at Streamlabs already talking junk to the Nightbot. That's a tough one, because you don't want the name to be too long. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to remember who I'm going to look for, and it's Peach State Virtual Pro Wrestling, I want to say like Gesundheit, like bless you. Oh, sorry, I thought you sneezed. Atlanta Virtual Pro Wrestling. Maybe, I might even take out the pro, I don't know. The AVW, Atlanta Virtual Wrestling. Peach State Wrestling. Peach State Pro Wrestling. Peach State Virtual Wrestling. Like, you got to kind of play with them. Like, things that could sound good today may sound different later. Too, you look at the stuff going on with Crimson, like you just kind of take a step back with that, the things that she has got going on right now, and it is kind of amazing. Struggling to get any like real traction in a championship division, and now winning the hardcore division, like that is the match of all things. If I was going to wrestle against Crimson, I'm in the women's division and I want to wrestle against Crimson, I'm going to want some like stipulations on it. You know what I mean? I want to find a way to be able to beat her, maybe by a count out, or maybe by this, or maybe by that. But now, in order to win the title, I can't, like, whatever title she would be holding, if I was facing her, you can't win it on a count out. So, but I wouldn't want her in the hardcore style matches where she could be putting me through tables and jumping off ladders, and that is going to be a real concern when we go in now to season 7. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like what Jacob's saying, but I looked at that name, Impact Championship Wrestling, and that's what I'm having a problem with, like the Ring of Honor, because there is a Ring of Honor promotion, you know what I mean? So we are going to change it to something else. I just don't know what yet. Impact, I probably wouldn't go with it, just because it's already out there. But again, this is my opinion. Everybody's got opinions, you know what I mean? You can do absolutely whatever you want. It's going to be your guys' creation. But there is some things like, you want the name to be easy enough to remember and still be distinctive. Like distinctive, easy to remember. Yeah, and it's funny, you look at like Temple and like when you look at his name, it's not like one of the 3 or 4 letter organizations that are out there, you know what I mean? It's underground. So lots of different ways to do it, to be fair, but whatever you do, you don't want it too similar to somebody else, because then you don't come up in a search. Think about that. If somebody was to put in, like, let's say I watched Impact Championship Wrestling, I'm like, man, that is an amazing show. I want to find that again, because for whatever reason, maybe I wasn't on the right device, I wasn't signed into YouTube, I wasn't doing the thing, and I put in Impact Wrestling. I don't know where you come up in that, but I know it's not in the first 100 searches. You know what I mean? So it's just, again, it's just something to think about. Like if your wrestling promotion was named International Championship Promotions, and then I went to look for you under ICP, I'd be finding the Insane Clown Posse. You know what I mean? I wish Streamlabs would put the just saying at the bottom of that saying. What's going on, Raymond? Welcome to the stream, brother. The other great thing about this match, and I know we haven't talked a lot about what's going on in this match, but you're looking at two world caliber competitors. Misty's not small, but again, everybody is small compared. Everybody is small compared to Crimson, so doing the things that you have to do, being able to stay for this long inside of a match, make it this competitive, always a good deal when you're going up against the likes of Crimson. And here we go, Crimson picking her up, big slam incoming. And it might be all over, but the crying rolls the leg, 2. And Misty able to kick out in 2. Yeah, it freaks me out. Clowns freak me out, you know what I mean? So, but it would be an amazing thing. And I guarantee you somewhere out there, there's a clown promotion, you know what I mean? Or like, you got to don the face paint to get in on it. Misty now trying to deliver and getting ready to set up for it. If she can get this on the big red machine, Red's redemption now hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. And Misty finding a way to get a win here tonight. You know, Misty, another one of those where she had won multiple world championships in different promotions, really kind of on the top, and then wanting to take a step back and do some other stuff in the tag team division. So tagging up with her daughter, they have been doing an amazing job in the tag team division, but maybe in 2K25, maybe she steps out again. Because by having your promotional thing going on, by having a developmental league, it still kind of splits the roster a little bit. Now, granted, we can see people on both things, so we'll see how it goes. But no. Crimson actually, you would think, but no. Next, I have a feeling in 2K25 we can finally make Crimson into what she is supposed to be. That's the problem we have. Digital dogs, all the big people that are supposed to be the big guys in their division or the big women in their division, we haven't been able to set them up right. Super heavyweights, it doesn't matter. There's this weird, don't know if you guys realize this, but there's this weird glitch where cruiserweights do much better against super heavyweights. Like, it's dumb, to be fair. Like, it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. Now with the new giant archetype, I hope that fixes it. There's no way cruiserweight should really be beating on the regular, be beating the bigger wrestlers. In order to beat Crimson in the women's division, that should be like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, that should be a celebrated thing. But right now, it's not the way it should be. So we'll see how it goes. Now, for these last 2 matches tonight, remember, this is the second half of the episode. So for the last 2 matches tonight, 2 8-way matches to send WCW off. First, we're going to have the men's 8-way match. Some of the bigger iconic type characters in there that have been in our universe. And it's going to be the same on the women's side. Kind of the bigger iconic characters that have been around. And it's funny, I think we're really going to see it now. Crimson was the first wrestler to ever beat Ozzy. But never defended it again. Like, she beat Ozzy. Ozzy came back the very next time and beat her. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So, and then hasn't won that title, the world title, since. So, I always pictured Crimson as like winning this world title and then going on like this epic run. Ozzy's done it. Ozzy has won the title and defended it 13 straight times. That is the most of any title of anything, and she did it with the WCW Women's World title at the time. So, absolutely crazy. But what's funny is if you go back and you watch Ray versus the Big Show, Ray beat the Big Show when it mattered, but he wasn't beating the Big Show all the time. The Big Show was destroying Ray, which, to be fair, is probably how it goes. And then Ray, in this big climactic thing, ends up beating the Big Show. Ends up beating the likes of like an Undertaker or a Brock Lesnar or somebody like that. You know what I mean? But it's not a normal thing. And in this game, and you can tell it, like GM mode kind of gives up a lot of the code of the game. To have a banger match, you've got to have a big guy versus a little guy. Like, that's dumb. That doesn't mean anything. I'm shocked that they even have it in there. You know what I mean? It's mind-boggling to me how that was even part of the equation. I don't care if you have Rey Mysterio Jr. versus The Rock. It's going to be amazing. I don't care if you had Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Eddie Guerrero. It's going to be amazing.
Representing the corporation from Wolverhampton, England, weighing in at 220 pounds, the WCW Undisputed World Television Champion, the Machine, Rob Old.
If you have a great wrestler versus a great wrestler, now I get the meshing in the ring and blah, blah, blah. I got it. But in the video game, you're telling me that I need a big guy versus a little guy or a brawler versus... Come on, stop. That's dumb. That should have never made it into the equation. But that equation is also throughout the entire game. It needs to leave. Let the wrestlers do what the wrestlers are going to do. If you got two high-rated wrestlers fighting each other, that should be a ratings boost. I guarantee you right now, if Chris Jericho was to fight The Rock, ratings through the roof. Not because of the archetype they are, but because of who they are and the characters they built. You know what I mean? So, they really need to get onto that. What's going on, Sentinel? Welcome to the stream. And now, too, with the ability to have your movesets really taken to like the next 3 levels. Like it's going to go from here to jump 3 levels up. Like it's going to be amazing to see what they can do. Or what we can do now with the game. And when we start doing the creation streams, it takes, roughly it'll probably take 4 to 6 hours now, with these new levels. But in the creation stream, streams, I'm not going to sit there and go through I'll do it off camera. We'll create the wrestler, the entrance, that's interesting to watch. We'll create the title belts. The arenas are interesting to watch. You're going to see, like, I can create an arena pretty quick now. But I have my kind of like the checklist in my head that I go through and I do it. The first time you start trying to do it, you're like, whoa, what is he doing? How is he doing it this fast? But you have to have a plan. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting to see all the different things that we can do, all the different types of stuff that we can do in the creation stream. It won't be all the stuff. I will you'll see me create Totes' moveset. I'll do that. I create one so you can see it. But we're not going to do it for every single person trying to mastercraft the moveset. I do mastercraft every single moveset, but that's going to be one of those things that as we go on, we'll be doing.
Representing the NWO from Huntsville, Alabama, weighing in at 258 pounds, the Universal $1 Million Champion, Frankie Fingers.
Well, it takes a little bit of time. Here's the problem with most people's arenas, to be fair. You either go too all out or you go too bare bones. There is a happy medium. So if you look, and I used to go too all out, to be fair, and I put too many images inside the ring. Now, I've gone with a different thing because I've got a logo that when I took the background out, it did some very neat things that I now use. I used to kind of make it see-through, so it just looked like the mat, was formed in there. But now I just put the head in there. So now if you start watching any one of the matches, you know if it's Totes, right? Totes is the logo's right there. And if you look at the color of the mat, that is a very light blue or a light color. It's got to always be a light color. You don't want a black mat. Like, unless it's going to be all black with a lot of logos around the outside, kind of how the WWE has done it, that might be okay. But you don't want it too busy. You don't want the arena to detract from what's going on. You want it to add to what's going on.
Representing the corporation for the nearest nightclub, weighing in at 306 pounds, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Rowdy Hunt.
So there's definitely some tips and some tricks and some things to do. I want to see how to do the custom Titantrons. Hopefully those are still made easy. That would be nice. And they change it up every year. They never talk about it, and it gets changed up every single year. So, but everything that happens from here until Friday, you'll still see wrestlers with the WCW logo on. You'll see them with the TCW logo on. You'll see them with the TWC logo. You'll see all that kind of stuff because, look, at the end of the day, that is way too many things, like right at the end of the year to change up. We made this jump because when I start creating next year, you're going to see TCW everything. It wouldn't have made any sense. You would have been like, what is this TCW stuff? And the amount of content creator streams, this is what gets harder as my year goes on. I start doing less and less content creator streams because usually what I'm changing has to do with the storyline and or dead giveaways, so it's hard to do that. But look at this. WCW removed off a Sentinel, TCW put up in its place.
And representing the new foundation from Virginia, weighing in at 308 pounds, one half of the WCW World Tag Team Champions, Sinister Trio.
So again, we didn't want to do a bunch of big changes. It seems like a lot of effort for less than 7 days, less than a week. And we're still going to have the shows as we can have them, so we're still going to have that Monday Night Nitro, except it is now called Monday Night Meltdown. So we're going to see that. That's a pretty cool looking arena. You can see that Thursday Night Outbreak kind of stayed with the blue theme right now. But the neat thing about the Thursday Night Outbreak logo, it could be any color. It could be green. We could do yellow. Like, we honestly could do anything we wanted to. The Meltdown one, you're kind of like the reds, the oranges, the yellows, like Meltdown, you know what I mean? Which is also kind of funny because it's like the Nitro one. So, kind of falls under that same thing. Come on now, who would want to fight this guy? There can't be one person out there who'd be like, I want to fight. Now, I'm not saying whether you will or you won't, but there can't be too many people out there that are like, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Like, let's go ahead and get a Digital Dogs involved. And really, Digital Dogs, Brutus and Wade War Walters, and Crimson, like, those are the four that I'm kind of the most excited to create based off the Giant archetype. I'm hoping that I don't have to make Crimson like 9,000 pounds to make her a Giant, because really in the women's division it should be a much, much lower weight to do that. So hopefully it's right around where she's at now. The size doesn't change, just the style. Like, I hope you can still have a super heavyweight. Like, I'm hoping, like, we can kind of choose, like, super heavyweight versus Giant archetype. You know what I mean? And we needed that extra one, too, because we've got some big guys. But, like, you look at, like, Sentinel, you look at Paul the Thing, Rowdy, GC Rock, those guys should be in like the super heavyweight division, but not on the level of Digital. You look at Totes, Jay Savage, Recon Delta, those are your heavyweights. They should be smaller than your GC Rocks and those, who then should also be smaller than the Digital Dogs. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting to see. That's what I'm saying, and that's right where I've got, I think I got her at like 262. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that in the women's division, the Giant archetype would be like anything above 250. We could make that into the Giant archetype. Then anything, you know, from 190 to 249, that's kind of like your super heavyweights in the women's division. Or actually, probably 200 to 249, and then like 170 to maybe even 160 to 200. That's your heavyweights, you know, so we'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, they'll always have that in. The ability to break the ring, that'll always be there, I am sure. It's nothing they announce every year, but it's always something that they say in there. Guys, if you're looking for a way to find us, you're like, hey, I wonder what he's got there. Is all of our socials right there. Nightbot putting it out right now. Yeah, and you'll see, because of the amount of things I do. Look, I created most of these guys that are in here. Obviously, Totes, GC Rock, Sentinel, Robbo. Jake Plague was created. I Totes-ified him a little bit. Digital Dogs, Recon Delta. So 6. Nope, 7 of these guys I created that are in the ring right now. And you can see they look a lot different. Like, they've got their own unique looks and their own whatever. But that's why you got to have a plan when you go in. Oh! It looked like she counted 3, but that is not what happened. Totes just trying to get pins left and right. So this is like one of those things where they're going through and you see the things that are happening. You can see the things that are happening. And at the beginning, maybe there's no real strategy to it. But again, this is, one of those matches. Like, if it was me, I would want to try to get back, get away from some of the stuff. You can see Recon just waylaying people with that stop sign. No, it's not that I hate people that have black ring mats. It is one of those things where it's got to be done right. If you're going to use a dark ring mat, the lighting has got to be done right. Like, everything has got to be done right. There's ways to make it stand out to where it's not like you're squinting to look. The lighting is huge. If you ever watch one of our shows, if you ever see one of our arenas, you can see the wrestlers. We make sure of that. So I have seen some that are like really busy and they're still fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't take away. It's busy, but it doesn't take away from what is going on. I was going to say, we thought at first that it was a certain one that was doing it, but then turned into something else. And Rowdy looking like he's trying to get after somebody. Another interesting thing about this particular match and the people that are in it, you look at Rowdy, you look at Robbo, you look at Totes, all former horsemen, all in this match. Totes helping out Rowdy at one point, and look at this. Totes saves Digital Dogs from the Rockopotamus, but oh, and then he saves himself. I was going to be like, but who's saving Totes right now? Totes now putting the extraction down on Recon Delta. And that's one of those things we kind of wanted to keep an eye on. Except you can see right here, Robbo and Rowdy absolutely fighting. Digital now and Totes fighting. But look, Digital quickly moves on. And now deciding to try to work together. But look, Rowdy pissed off. He's like, Robbo, why were you jacking me like that? And there's got to be a little bit of like bragging rights involved in some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Former horsemen wanting to say that they are the best horsemen, current NWO members or current corporate syndicate members, you know what I mean? Wanting to have those bragging rights. Right now you got Robbo, GC Rock, and Rowdy all in the corporate syndicate, and then Sentinel representing the TCW. went to jack up GC Rock. GC steps to the side and then breaks the kendo stick over his head. That'll learn you right there. Rowdy rolling up the leg of Robbo. Robbo, though, kicking out. Sentinel trying to pin. Digital kicking out in one. And this is a rivalry. If you look, Totes and GC Rock fighting it out. That goes all the way back to season 1. These two used to fight it out all the time. For a long time, we're the top guys in the TSW promotion. And then you start seeing people growing. And the stars starting to grow and do the stuff. Digital putting the choke slam on the Sentinel. And Sentinel able to kick out in 2. Yeah, that is also an interesting thing. With Rhino looking back, yeah, he acted like a giant. And Totes just pinned GC Rock, so GC eliminated from the match. Totes is trying to pin everybody right now. And this is another like little sidebar thing going on right there. Sentinel trying to get back at Digital, but Digital and Rowdy have had their things. Rowdy typically getting the best of Digital. And now the NWO trying to focus on Robbo, maybe trying to get Robbo out of here. Totes looking at Digital, sees that he's got it. And the Totes Rowdy thing, it's almost like Totes and Rowdy are like, hey, I want to beat the crap out of one another, but I'm not going to let somebody else beat the crap out of them. Like, that's me. You don't get to do it. Only I do. And Digital getting the pin on Robbo. And Sentinel and Digital have kind of gone back a little bit back and forth as well. Rowdy now putting the pin on Totes. Totes able to kick out in 2. Sentinel starting to get the best of Digital right here. Rowdy throwing the stop sign, and here they go. Sentinel and Rowdy, like, it's just funny. All these guys have had their moments where they have fought each other and guarantee they can remember when they did it. Now throws Rowdy right on top of that stop sign. Digital's right there with Rowdy. And now finally turns his attention to him. Totes taking Sentinel, throwing him in the ring. And it looks like they are trying, the NWO members, trying to get a little bit of separation. No, they're not. Sentinel's like, look at this. I should be leading this group right here. But Totes rolls out of the ring. A veteran move right there, and now Digital Dogs, absolutely. You can hear the bedazzled jawbones getting rattled right now. But absolutely rattling those jawbones as Digital controlling what is going on in the ring. Now Digital picking up the bat, throws Totes' bat, tried to hit Rowdy, but couldn't get it through the ring. Didn't think Rowdy saw Totes coming, but he did. And Sentinel trying to end Digital's night right now. Or Totes' night. Oh! Totes went for the extraction. Instead, Sentinel ducks it, hits him with his own finisher, and Totes' night is done right there. You want to talk about a great move. Totes going for his finisher, but Sentinel able to duck it, so you know Sentinel has been doing his homework. Rowdy now going for the pin. 1. And Rowdy putting it out. And doesn't it just figure it is down to Rowdy and to Digital Dogs. Again, I'm telling you, 2K25, these two are going to have a meeting without a doubt. Rowdy has been getting the better of Sentinel or of Digital Dogs, but who knows with the new things coming how that's going to go. What is going on, Herbie? Welcome to the stream, brother. Both these guys trying to hit each other with the stairs. Sentinel finally gets it in, and can he end it right here? Sentinel now trying to stay in control. Rowdy trying to get back to his feet, and this Sentinel calling for it. Is Digital calling for it? I keep calling Digital Sentinel. Oh, Digital going for the pop right upside Rowdy's head. But look at this. Same type of a deal. Rowdy going for his finisher. Instead, Sentinel catches him. Digital catches him riding dirty. And Rowdy able to kick out in 2. But that has got to be hard to believe. But that shows you why Rowdy is the TCW World Champion. And Rose SpaghettiOs, it is the Rowdy redemption right on top of those steel steps. 2, 3, and Rowdy just seems to have Digital's number. Like, it comes down to these things where it looks like he's about to win, like he's about to finally get over that hump. He's finally about to take it to that next level. And then Rowdy comes back out of nowhere. Rowdy comes back, you don't even see it happening. He just comes back, picks up the win. And Digital's got to be sitting there going like, what just happened? I had him, we got him up, I brought him back down. That should have been all over but the crying. And Rowdy shows you why he is on that roll. You guys will, I don't know that it won't be soon. Like there's a lot of others that are in line right now for that. So like Rated R2K, like why? Like it's been a long time before he got a match where he should have got one. Then there's you. Then there's Matt Storm. Like there's some people that are out there right now. So that definitely won't be a thing that happens in the next couple episodes. But Sentinel and Rowdy fought for the World Tag Team titles. Sentinel coming out on top of that. So it's going to be an interesting one when you guys do finally get to step in the ring again. Will there be a world title belt on the line at the time? Maybe, maybe not. Another crazy thing, like how long has it been since we have seen Cheyenne Davis without a title belt? Oh yeah, no, for sure it'll happen. Those are classic matches. Definitely want to see those go on for sure. In season 7, does Cheyenne start getting back on top of the thing where she's going back after the Universal title, or does she finally set her sights for real on the TCW World title? You look at some of the history of what she has done, and you look at, I don't think she has ever been beat for the television championship. I think she has won it twice, and I think 2 times she has vacated that title. So in the title match. She has fought for the title and not won it, but when she has held the title, I don't know that she's ever lost with the television title. I don't know either. I'm going to look right now just to see. Because I don't know either if she has ever won the world title. Oh, she has. One time. So, yeah, she beat Aussie for the world title if you go all the way back into season 2. But then Aussie wins it right back from her in the next match. And then she kind of moves on. She fought Aussie one more time for it. Recently, she fought Aussie again for it. So she has only ever fought Aussie for the world title. So that is interesting. She has beat her one time. Aussie has defended against her 3 or 4 times. So will she kind of set her sights on that, or will she be going after something? Will she stay going after the Universal World title? What's going on, Jesse Jackhammer? Welcome to the stream, brother. Guys, too, make sure you're sharing the video out to some different folks. That way they know what is going on, just in case they didn't see it happening. And now, it's hard to believe, but 7-time TCW Women's World Champion, Aussie, coming down. And, you know, we talk about the lack of Cheyenne winning this title.
From the Queen City, the WCW Women's World Champion, the phenomenal Moxley.
But you talk about, like, the lack of Cheyenne winning the TCW Women's World title. But Aussie, it's kind of the reverse thing now on the Universal side. Cheyenne, yeah, maybe she's only won it once. Witcher, the only 2-time winner of the Universal title. But Witcher wins it, unable to defend it. Then Witcher wins it, defends it twice. Recently loses it to Liv Morgan. Aussie wins the very first one, won it against Ronda Rousey, defended it against Beth Phoenix, lost to Miss Nightmare. Cheyenne wins it and then goes on to defend it a record 9 times. Aussie, her 2-time title defense is the second longest streak ever, so very tough belt to win and hold on to. But Cheyenne absolutely held on to it for the entirety of season 5 and then held on to it all the way through episode 66 of this year. So she held that belt for quite a long time. Lots of title defenses in there as well. So Liv Morgan now the current holder of the belt. Will we see that belt fought for one more time, or will it be not until 2K25 comes out? So another thing to keep an eye on. But the Universal title series, nothing to be messed around with. That's another big thing that'll be going on. We can see the powers of Witcher. Will that carry into season 7? Will she put an emphasis on doing that? Or maybe will she take a step back as far as the powers are concerned? Kind of put them on a back shelf. Can she put them on a back shelf? We don't even know. So definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye out and an eye on. But a lot of big superstars really, especially through season 6, a lot of big superstars created really since joining and transforming into the WCW. We have seen a lot of new superstars really start catapulting themselves back into like the success, into like not just star, but maybe even superstar. You look at like Sentinel. Witcher was kind of a star, but now kind of catapulted herself up into that superstar thing. We've seen some other ones kind of take a step back where we haven't seen as much of them. Does that change going in for season 7? Another thing that we're going to look at. Does the WWE, do they start stepping up and producing better wrestlers? And I don't mean like talent, but I mean like really, when you look at the WCW's women's brand, like, got to be considered the best of the best. You know what I mean? And now we have seen towards the end of this season, some of the WWE wrestlers, because of that competition, now starting to step up their game as well. Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Asuka. So starting to see them kind of step up and them kind of able to do their thing, Charlotte Flair. So will we keep seeing that in season 7? Will they continue to rise? Will they continue to garner the success? And that's another thing as far as the TCW now with the changeover. Hogan and Sting, the last really two people on that side taking a step back. Will we see the same in the women's division? Jade Cargill signed with the WCW. Will she stay signed with the TCW, or will she go back to the WWE and be fighting on their side? So we'll still have Monday Night Meltdown. We'll have Thursday Night Outbreak. We'll have Friday Night TWC Wrestling. And we're still going to have every other week the Monday Night Wars. TCW and the WWE have signed contracts for that one show where they can come together. They won't be coming together so much in the pay-per-views. You may see a wrestler step into a pay-per-view to defend a title. But you won't be seeing that as much. You'll be seeing mostly just the or the WCW. And they may still come together for a pay-per-view. Like there may be a singular pay-per-view where they come together and really like battle it out. But they're going to be battling it out every other week on the Monday Night Wars program. So we'll still see the fight in there. We'll see who can dominate the Universal title picture. So like I say, none of that stuff changes. We just have a mystery buyer. Still don't know who it is. Was it an individual that bought? We do know that whoever bought it, whoever the owner or the ownership group is, have named a committee, and that committee is supposed to be naming a new GM for the TCW brand and a new GM for the TWC brand, which is kind of a split from what was going on. We didn't have kind of that go-to person. Eric Bischoff kind of handled it all under the flagship of the WCW. So we're going to be seeing a lot of neat things, a lot of different changes, a lot of different stuff. What does it mean moving forward? Only time will tell, but we are going to keep an eye on that and continue to announce the breaking news as it happens.
Representing the Gate Crashers from the Garden of Eden, one half of the WCW Women's World Tag Team Champions, and one half of the Universal Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Evil Within, Rex and Tessa.
So the neat thing about this match, especially on the women's side, you're seeing some of the more iconic TCW wrestlers, but you were also seeing two of the rising stars here in Season 6 also competing in this match. So a couple that are maintaining the top, maybe a couple on the decline, maybe a couple of the rising stars. So a very good mix inside this match. And it's going to be interesting to see how this match progresses. Who is going to try to face off against the other ones? Who is going to try to maintain whatever they're maintaining? Who is going to fight it out in this match? Where are these wrestlers' focus going to? Because regardless of what we think out here in the announce booth, regardless of what we think as fans, the wrestlers definitely in the locker room know who they're worried about. Now, they may not admit it, but you can see in matches like this where you've got the 8 women matches or the 8-man matches, there are wrestlers that definitely focus in on certain things, that definitely make sure that this person or that person, and you look at our current WCW women's, or our TCW women's world champion, and she is over there right now focused on Rapincha. You look at Witcher, the former 2-time Universal Women's Champion. She is focused on Melinda. Heather and Jane going after it. And Ozzy now focused on Melinda. Cheyenne and Witcher. So it's just one of those things. Yeah, maybe it's something that happens in passing, but who is focused on who? And Melinda and Miss Nightmare really trying to get at each other. Miss Nightmare winning that. Maybe not the race to get there, but winning it when she finally does get there. And Jane and Ozzy, it's been a minute, but those two used to have some absolutely epic battles as well. Jane now going for the pin. Rapincha and Witcher, Melinda now and Heather, and again back to Ozzy and Cheyenne. Now these two, they've kind of had a natural rivalry just because it's always a question who is better between the two of them, and they've been performing this stuff at world-class levels. So the fact of who is the better champion comes up a lot, not just in fan conversations, but also amongst the wrestlers in the back, also amongst the interviews that they end up doing. And Heather getting the double team right there. Feet going right up against those steel steps. So the back of the heels going up against the steel steps. And look, it looks like a little thing, but that could end up being something where it gets harder to walk, it gets harder to move, it gets harder to do the other things that you're trying to do. So Heather now rolling up the leg. She rolled up the leg, and Ozzy throws Witcher into those steel steps. And still able to kick out into Miss Nightmare and Cheyenne going at it in the ring. And Rapincha, a huge clothesline on Witcher. Looked like she was trying to finish the job there, but Jane kind of blocked it from happening, and now Jane going up underneath, getting out the sledgehammer. Witcher tried to stop her, unable to do it, rolls her up right there, and here it comes. Getting hit with the yellow brick road, rolls up the leg, 1, 2, and Melinda finds a way to kick out in 2. And Rapincha, again, one of the 2 hottest female wrestlers on the circuit right now, pins the leader of the NWO, Heather D. And what was Cheyenne doing in there? Probably whatever it takes. She's trying to show you that maybe she's got that old found attitude back, understanding the size of Miss Nightmare and is willing to do whatever it takes to get the pin on her. Fafo slam onto Rapincha, rolls the leg. One. And only a 1 count. Cheyenne now hooks the boots. 1, 2, 3. And Cheyenne eliminates Miss Nightmare. You know, we talked about the NWO, and we talked about the corporate syndicate, and we talked about what that means. What does that look like moving forward? If you look at the women's side of the NWO, it really makes you wonder. The women on the NWO side have been together for a long time. The women that they brought in, are they a temporary thing? Oh, Cheyenne hits Ozzy with the 8-second ride. And it took the referee 2.7 quadrillion years to get over there and even start a count. So not even a 1 count, even after that 8-second ride. But again, doesn't matter who you are, Cheyenne can end your night in 3 moves. Another Fafo slam onto Rapincha. That's got to be all over but the crying, especially it happening on the outside of the ring. And Melinda gets the pin against Rapincha. What? Melinda's like, let me dominate everything that's going on. Starts swinging that sledgehammer, then goes in, tries to get a piece of Cheyenne. Cheyenne getting that turned around and still finds a way to do it, and now sitting right in front of Ozzy. Timing a little bit off right there, but stays in control. Ozzy turning it back around. Jane trying to do what she can against Witcher because there's only 5 people now left in this main event match. Cheyenne walking over. And one of the most deadly moves, and look at the state of this pin right here. Best pin in the game. Jane goes for the last dance of Mary Jane, tries to get that nonchalant pin, and it does not work on Witcher. Cheyenne looking like she is out. And who knows what happens, but there's a broken kendo stick over there, and she is out on her feet. Jane taking the sledgehammer over to Witcher and just going to town on that. Ozzy trying to get it set up, trying to set up the yellow brick road, and now Jane using that sledgehammer to do the dirty work. Jane really kind of almost having eyes in the back of her head right now, really controlling the entire match here for the last little bit. Throws Melinda in the ring, but doesn't see Ozzy coming. Melinda sees Witcher coming. She's like, I do not want to get hit by that kendo stick, and here it is, somewhere over the rainbow, or the yellow brick road, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. And that should show you that you can hold that all you want. You can control the match all you want, but at the end of the day, things could end quickly. Cheyenne getting a little measure of revenge against Witcher, gets the pin on Witcher. And Melinda finds a way to kick out. Again, Cheyenne playing it up to the crowd, letting these two kind of hash it out. Oh! Half hit her with it. Didn't get the whole thing in, but half hit her with the 8-second ride, and it looks almost like she's letting her off the hook right now. By not going for the pin, Aussie now getting back to her feet. Cheyenne really focused on what's going on with Melinda. Melinda trying to get back to her feet. And if she didn't see her before, she sees it now. Throws Melinda into the ring. Aussie now getting after it. Melinda now finally getting back up. And looking like she's like, hey, let me just wait here. Let me develop a better strategy. And Aussie, I don't think Aussie realizes Melinda's out. Well, maybe she does. And Cheyenne giving up the body to get her down onto the ground. And now these three women just going back and forth. Big power bomb right there on the outside. Melinda went for the Fafo Slam on Cheyenne. Cheyenne able to stop it. And a big slam incoming right here. Oh, instead of swinging neck breaker, Melinda picks up Aussie, slams her down, but puts her in between her and Cheyenne. So able to use Cheyenne as a barrier. She just did it again with Aussie, but hooks the leg of Cheyenne. 2, 3. And now down to the final two competitors of the evening. Aussie able to get the upper hand, however. Rolls up the leg. And Melinda again able to kick out in 2. Now we have seen Aussie deliver 2 yellow brick roads to Melinda. Can Melinda tries to deliver the Fafo Slam, but here it is, and this has got to be it. That is the somewhere over the rainbow. Usually sets up the yellow brick road, but in this case goes for the pin and gets the win. Aussie getting a win here tonight in the final official matches of the WCW brand. Moving forward, it will be the TCW brand. We will still stay, though, in Season 6, these last couple of episodes before we move on to 2K25 this Friday. So it will still remain, we will remain here in Season 6, but just know Season 7 right around the corner, big things happening. If you guys are out there and you guys make up your own wrestlers that I end up downloading, a lot of times people are telling you, they're like, hey, take your time, we got time. I'm not saying we got time. I'm saying let's get out there, let's get them made, and let's get them done. Don't take too long, because I've seen this happen before. If we start moving, if the love bus starts moving, and look, it's about a week. You got about a week to really do the thing. If you're new coming in, you got maybe about 2 weeks. But if it starts taking longer than that, storylines start running, it's hard to get you back in the thing, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to do it. So, which it's all fine. It's not like we're going anywhere. We're going to be here for quite some time. But just know, really want you to get on doing it. Make your person the way you want to make them. Understand this, I am going to toadsify your character. We still have a standard. If you look at our wrestlers, we have a standard. They have face scans. Even if they have face paint, they have face scans. They have, like, all that stuff changes the things. Their outfits are done a certain way. We put on a certain type of a product. We do a certain type of a thing. So if that's stuff that, like, oh, you get upset about, that might not be the place for you. When you submit, if you're already in the WCW, you know what your finishing moves are. If you're new, there is only one person allowed per finishing move. I do not allow you, and when I see it, I change it. I do not allow you to have 100 million finishing moves. And by the way, you're welcome, because that's not a good move set. That's not a good way to go anyway. That doesn't make you unbeatable. It actually does the opposite. It makes you very beatable. So we will mastercraft all of that stuff moving forward. But the more work you guys do up front, the easier it is when I bring you in. You know what I mean? So sometimes I've got to change the entrances because, again, it's only one entrance per person. You don't see 19 people walking out to Stone Cold's entrance, do you? And you're not going to see it in the TCW. So we have those standards. Everybody gets typically one finishing move. But if you're new, put them in the order. Put the 5 finishing moves that you want. So there's that stuff. If you guys are wondering, join the Discord. It's on the thing. The rules are laid out on the welcome page. So do that. I'm just trying to save you guys some headaches because, look, not every E-Federation is for every person. We do things different than other people do them, and they do different than we do them. So that's what makes it all good. You want to find where the best fit is for you and do it that way. There is a waiting list to get in. We're almost finalized with where we're going to start, so that'll be a lot of fun. But, yeah, always read the contract before you sign. Great words to live by. And the reverse side of it is if you get in and you're like, I'm out of here, you might not be out of here right away. Like, we're going to finish the storylines. I control the storylines, and I may have to finish the storyline, or I may use your wrestler in a different way to finish out a different storyline. So I made a couple mistakes with that this past year. I will not be making them again. It's with the same guy. So, but for the most part, guys, I just want you guys to be able to come in, have a lot of fun, understand like some of the stuff. Don't let this should be the escape for you to do it, not like some stressful thing. If it's some stressful thing, then yeah, definitely not. It's not what this is all about. You come here, we are a tight-knit community. If you want to cut promos in the Discord, I've got a place for you to do that. If you don't want to cut promos, don't go into that channel. You don't even have to read what happens. Because in there, it's all in character, it's all in fun. In the general chat, not the place to cut promos. Not the place to do things. That's the place to enjoy yourself, have fun, enjoy each other's company. We have an amazing community. Would love to see you guys join up. And that brings us to this. Why you guys are out there today and you're doing things in life. Remember, you shouldn't be giving people power over your decisions, your behavior, how you act. And I mean it in this way. If somebody was mean to you and then that's your excuse to be mean to them, you're dumb. You just are. If I did it, I'd be dumb. And I used to do it. I used to be very dumb. I'm still pretty dumb. Like, don't get me wrong. But you don't have to give people the power to do that. I hope while we're out there, I hope while our community is out there, we choose a different path. We choose to start leading by example. We choose to start showing people how the world could and should be. And then those people, when they see a good example of it, maybe they're going to want to start setting that example. Maybe now they're going to go out. So I'm just saying, put a little kindness in the world. Show some people some grace. I mean, yeah, there's times and places. Again, you make your own decisions. But I'm just saying, consider showing some kindness to people. Show them what kindness looks like. That stuff comes back to you tenfold, by the way. So put it out in the world. Accept the kindness that it starts coming back your way, and then hopefully together we can build a better world. Right now, a lot of divide in the world, and for whatever reason, we allowed it to happen. We've got to start putting our foot down and not allowing it to happen. So, love every single one of you guys. Appreciate everything that you guys do. That is going to do it for us here tonight. If you guys hang out, I'm going to cut the mic off, but you guys should know there's always bonus content. And we're going to see some cool stuff here in just a second. But from everybody here at the Toast Goats Network to all of you out there, be kind to one another. Show each other a little bit of grace. And we'll catch all of you in the next one. Peace.